You guys really, I mean, I think one of the biggest storylines throughout the season is how good the defense was and how impressive the unit was as a whole. I mean, why do you think that it came together that way? How proud are you that that's kind of how it turned out?
Super proud, obviously. I just think the pieces we put together, as I mentioned to you guys multiple times, I've had a good feeling all the way back to last spring, and it didn't change. Our guys we brought in, both the free agents and the draft picks, all blended together well, and it turned out to be great for us.
What do you feel like, when it comes here, what would you like the defense to get? Obviously, y'all did a lot of great things, but what do you feel like y'all can do better?
I just think you continue to add good players to it. We got some guys that are up free agency wise, so that's going to be key to get those guys back, and we'll see how that all plays out. But just keep adding depth, and you can never have too many good players.
What do you feel about your quarterback depth?
Well, that's something that we're obviously going to address coming up. Just from we got some guys under contract. We're going to lose some guys. You just don't know how it's going to go. So you can never have enough corners and rushers. So we'll always be looking for that.
How do you feel like were you expecting Chidobe to go in and be as good as he was when y'all signed him?
I mean, yeah, I thought he would do. He's played a lot of good football throughout his career, and he's a hardworking guy. Not a lot of guys prepare harder than him, and he's, it just showed this year the way he performed. So it really didn't surprise me.
It seems like obviously there were a lot of expectations for Trey Waynes when he came in. Was it just one of these things where just the injuries it just never really kind of panned out the way y'all thought it would because of all that stuff?
Yeah, I think injuries played a big part there for sure.
How big was Wilson's and really the linebackers, because Pat made a jump too. How big was their jump in year 2 of being with the same position coach? What kind of transition do you think?
I think it's same system for them. That's not changing. They know all the calls. Al did a great job with that group, and so happy for him and his family getting a great position in Notre Dame. But I think that. Betch will come in and do his thing, and the guys know what to do, and he'll do a great job. Even continue to build that group as we go forward.
How big was that jump for Logan and Pratt year 2?
They both did a great job. Yeah, so it was good to see.
Everybody talks about jumping from 1 to 2, right? But they seem to take a good.
Yeah, I thought they both played well the year before, so. I just think it was right in line. They kept climbing each year, so they just got to keep going from here.
How do you view Joseph Asai going in? What he would be his redshirt rookie year?
Well, it was such a small sample size from last year. We're hoping that we get a guy that's going to be available. First and foremost, you have to be available. He has to be able to do that, stay healthy. But he's proven that. In this small window that we saw, that he can, get after the quarterback, and that's what's most important. So we're looking forward to him and what he brings next year.
And especially when you're looking at talent here at this combine, and as you get ready for the draft, what are the keys for a young player in the NFL to contribute right away as well?
Yeah, I think they have to. There's a couple of factors. I think number one. Being a guy that can adapt to things quickly and understand and learn what we're asking them to do, and the faster that they can do that generally helps them play or get on the field quicker, and then just being consistent, with their play. So if they have those things that are available to them, then they'll have a chance to get on the field quicker for us.
Can you talk a little bit about some of the coaches you added?
Yeah. So. James Betcher, I just drove over with Betch just now. We spent the year together in New York, so know him. Great teacher, great communicator. He's going to do a real good job with those guys. And obviously some of the things we're doing, we did there, so it helps. He'll be able to jump right into it and know what's going on. And then Charles Burks, from Miami. I first got to know him back at the Senior Bowl. I really, I'm a DB guy at heart, and kind of tend to watch those guys. And he kind of caught my eye down there, and some of the things he was doing, how he was teaching his guys and drilling them, and so stayed in touch with him after that. He became available this year, so super excited about him too.
What did Eli Apple mean for this defense on the field and then in the locker room?
Eli did a great job for us this year. Just from being there for us, each week, and then being able to make plays at key times for us. It just kept getting better each week, and played with confidence. And when you're playing with confidence, especially at that position, you're going to be able to make a mark. So I was very pleased with him, and he's another one that is up. So we got to see how that goes. But he did a great job for us this year.
You think he can be somebody who can be viable as the long-term starting quarterback?
I mean, he certainly proved this year that that he can take that role, and he did a great job with it. We'll see how things go from there.
Obviously, the subject of conversation right now is Jessie, his future, what he meant to the secondary as a quarterback of that group. What did he mean to you?
I lean on Jessie, a lot. Easy guy to communicate with, and even during the games, how's this going, how's that going, how you seeing this, so he's really turned himself into a true professional, and certainly a guy we'd love to have back, and he's done so many great things for us back in the secondary, and on the whole defense, being a captain, and I think the world of him. He knows that, so hopefully we can get him back.
Where are the areas you think he's grown the most?
I just think he was a young guy coming out. Becoming just more familiar with the NFL game, what it takes to be a successful safety in this league, and just his overall presence and how he approaches everything. He's a guy that is a true pro.
Do you feel like Bates gives you a lot of schematic flexibility that maybe is kind of rare to have because he's so rangy, he's so athletic, and it allows you to play maybe more cover one than a lot of people can because how much space he takes up the back end?
Well, he does have great range. He does give us some flexibility. And he's got good timing on things. When he knows when to step up and make a play and when not to. So all that stuff comes into play with guys that are playing at the highest level. So hopefully we don't have to go down the road of worrying about what it's like without him. But you never know.
What are the next couple of weeks going to be like for you?
That's a good question.
Where do you begin?
Yeah, well, the most pressing issue is, to me, and Zach said it right the other day in our staff meeting. This is the player acquisition time of the year, and we've got to make sure we have the right guys in the building, just like we did it the last couple of years, and that's the most important thing. So, all of our attention will be on that. So, free agency and the draft, and then we'll get into what scheme adjustments we'll make, this, that, and the other thing as we go forward. But it's about getting new players and making sure we get the right ones.
How fun has it been over the past 2 off seasons to acquire the defensive players you've acquired in free agency?
It's been great, and the organization's done a great job with that. And so, you just look at the pieces we have in place, and now we're just kind of adding to it. So, looking forward to going through it again.
Just want to get your on 2 fourth-rounders from last year. Characterize your rookie year. Sample looked like he did a lot for you. Do you think he's basically a edge who can slide in there, or do you think he's just an edge?
He's a guy that can do multiple things. That's what we're always looking for. We're looking for guys that can do different things. But yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head. He's a guy that can do both those things.
Did he do anything down the stretch there to kind of get your eye a little bit? Did you go down a couple of people? Did you there a little bit more than inside more? Or just,
not really. No, it was kind of how we were using it. I forget what game it was. We didn't have anybody left, so we just he was in there. Yeah, but no, he's carved himself out for a good role for us, and looking forward to having him.
How about Sheldon? What does Sheldon have to do to get on the field?
As he became more comfortable with his surroundings, and I think the best thing for him is make sure he's at a playing weight that's suitable for him and for us, to come back and make sure he's ready to go there. But he's got all the ability, so we're excited about both those guys.
You got Ogunjobi up, BJ Hill up. They gave you a lot of interior pass rush. I mean, how important is it that make sure that you guys have that ability to have guys who kind of go upfield and put pressure in from the inside?
Yeah, I think everybody saw that when you have defensive linemen that can affect the game, you're going to win games. And so to me, that's where the game, that's not just me, but everybody knows the game is won and lost up there. So, we're all aware of that. We'd love to have them both back. They know that. They like it here too, which is the good news. So hopefully things work out. Is
it different from a schematic standpoint when you can bring pressure from the interior as opposed from the outside? I mean, how does that affect the way that maybe you can go about calling plays?
Yeah, I just think it allows you to do a little bit more, based on who you have in there. So as I said, hopefully we get them both back.
Yeah. Is that are you nervous as a coach going into free agency with so many of your own guys that you've built that could potentially walk and be elsewhere next season?
This league is about change. It's a part of our jobs. So there's always some sort of stress going on. I know we'll do a great job. Duke and his crew we're working together, and we'll figure something out. But no, I'm not worried about it. We'll get it done.
Lou, to that end, how good do you think you guys are, you specifically, at adapting to a player, especially coming out of college, adapting to a player's strength, as opposed to maybe trying to force a square peg into a round hole?
Yeah, I think that's part of coaching is okay. You got a player, and now what is he good at? And try to bring out his strong points and minimize his weaknesses. And easier said than done. Trust me. But I think that that's something that whatever new pieces we have, we'll look to do that this year and see where they best fit and where they best can help us going forward.
Do you think, you personally, that's where you've grown the most as a coach, being able to do that more and more?
I think it could be one of the things for sure. I think that you learn things about yourself and about your coaching style every day, really, in how you would handle certain situations. You never stop growing, in my opinion. It's like going to a clinic. I learned a long time ago, well, you may not get 10 things out of it, but as long as you get one thing. And to me, you're always evolving as a coach too. You're always, okay, how would I do this situation again differently, or would I do it the same way? So that's probably one of the ways for sure.
Is dime becoming the new nickel?
There's a lot of, there's so many snaps of 11 personnel these days. I don't know that it's that far where you're going to always have 6 DBs on the field. I think it starts with the 5 of them, and then you go from there.
How's that going to change? Kind of, it's just people went away from just more base playing more nickel. Now it seems like more people are playing more dime. How does that affect when you're going through the evaluation process, finding the right type of guys and the body types that you want when you're playing as much dime as people are starting?
Well, we have a great one in Akeem Davis Gaither, and he's unfortunately we lost him at some point during that season. I don't know. Now I'm basing it on like before and after Thanksgiving. Was it before Thanksgiving or after Thanksgiving? Because it was a marathon, obviously. But he was gone for a while. But he's one of those guys that can fit that role and do a number of different things. And Marcus Bailey is similar that way. Keandre Jones. So we've got some guys that can kind of carve out a niche in that deal, and he's like a big safety. So we're happy we have him.
Is Flowers a guy that can't? Flowers seems to offer a little bit of position flexibility. I don't know.
Yeah, he did a great job covering tight ends for us this year. Love to have him back.
We appreciate you taking the time to hang out.
Yeah.
with it.
My pleasure, guys.
Thanks, though.